Am I a Canadian? Not something I would ever expect to have to say in my entire life. My my white grandpa was from Boston, but he was a first generation American. His father was born in Canada. We were always told that his father had gotten naturalized, had to carry his naturalization papers on him his entire life. And that is not true. The things that you find out, your family stories that were just absolute fabrications. Now, did my great grandfather think he was an American citizen? Absolutely. And he was dead wrong. So here's how this goes. I stumbled across Jen's YouTube, and I am going to link her YouTube here in the comments for this, because if you guys are super curious about genealogy and how citizenship works in other countries and how Canada is changing that, you really need to see what she said. I had no idea that Canada was or had been working on, apparently for 10 years, on this project called Lost Canadians, where in the past, if you got, became a naturalized citizen somewhere else, or if, like with Jen's grandma, who married an American, she lost her Canadian citizenship because of that. Canada has decided that that is very discriminatory. And they passed in, I was going to say this year, but it's New Year's Day, so it's not 2025 anymore, is it? But they've been working on several different readings and everything, and it actually passed the entire parliament in Canada in November to approve this. So I had to determine, was my great-grandfather ever naturalized? I found out his father was, which is something we were never told. Nobody mentioned that whatsoever. Apparently he wanted to do that because he was a ship's carpenter. And he was bringing the family to Boston while he had a job in the shipyards building ships. And then he would have to go back to Canada until he got the next contract, which I find really interesting, because I was told that everybody in the family worked on the apple farm in Nova Scotia. So nope, not this one. Anyway, so I can see why he would, because then he didn't have to get specialized work permits. He didn't have to keep moving the family back and forth. I also found out that my great-grandfather actually graduated high school as a Canadian in Boston public schools. Did not know that. However, his father could have chosen to have his children, who were minors, right, naturalized with him as part of his process. He didn't do that. Now, he may have wanted to do that, or they may have said, hey, did you know you could do this? But it didn't get checked off in the paperwork. So his naturalization was only for himself and did not include any of his other family. However, my great-grandfather thought that it did. And apparently he had been carrying a copy of his dad's naturalization paperwork with him his entire life, thinking it brought him citizenship. I reached out to the National Archives in Boston, they looked, because I was certain he had it, right? They said they couldn't find it, but they found his World War I draft registration card, which I had not seen on Ancestry or on Family Search. And it said on there that he was a U.S. citizen because he had become one as a minor when his dad got naturalized. No, he didn't. Obviously, he felt that he did his entire life. He got a Social Security number in the 30s and died in the 1950s thinking he was a U.S. citizen when he was not. That whole time he was in the country and working illegally. Anyway, but I've got to have proof, right? I went on the website, followed closely what Jen did, and looked at the documents and everything that they need. So I've got most of them. I'm just waiting for my cousin in Boston to actually get, she said she'd get me a copy of my grandfather's birth certificate. And that's the only thing I am missing from this packet at this point as of yesterday. My grandfather should have had dual citizenship, and he did not. So he qualifies under this Lost Canadian legislation. It goes into effect, I think, January the 26th. That's when the paperwork is expected to come back from England after King Charles has physically put his inked signature on it. He's already said he would do it. And they expect a huge influx after that. They've had quite the uptick in the meantime, but it's going to be first come, first served. And I have to mail all the stuff to, I was going, oh my God, are they even going to take my application seriously? The address I have to mail it to is in Nova Scotia. All right. My grandpa's family ran for government offices and stuff in Nova Scotia. They are very well known. So I don't need to worry about that. Now, the biggest thing I had to get was this from U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services. This official letter that I got in my email, and yes, I had to pay for this, for them to do a search, proves that my great-grandfather was never naturalized like he thought he was. He was a Canadian his entire life. So I am good to go to apply as a lost Canadian under this new legislation. And I'm just really tickled pink. I mean, my grandpa told me, you know, growing up, oh, we're Canadian, and like, so I'm connected to the culture, which may sound crazy for someone who is a Southeast US Native American. That's what happens when grandpa marries a Cherokee. Anyway, I'm just so tickled pink about this. There are faculty and administration positions that are open in Canada that I would be able to apply for without having to get a work permit. I mean, this is just huge. I talk about being able to make the difference that I have just felt in my gut that I am compelled to make on the world of academia, and those opportunities just do not exist in the US. It's tremendous, and tremendous feels like such a small word to describe what I'm feeling. I mean, honestly, when I'm going to get emotional. When I printed that out yesterday, I sat down and cried. I actually sat down and cried. Um, so I may do another video update on this once I get the application submitted. According to what Jen said, they do want you to include all of your children's birth certificates and stuff in the application for them to get it, even if they're adults, if they're wanting to get citizenship, and they'll just do the whole family all at once. So my kids are working on that. My oldest son is he's an English teacher over in Southeast Asia. He already had his passport photos taken because you're supposed to send that in with the paperwork. He sent me money to get his birth certificate here. I already have most of the other kids. But I might do another one to update if it gets approved. And I just encourage you to go and watch Jen's video of her process in applying for her and her kids to become Canadian citizens. I cannot thank you enough, Jen. I would never have known if you had not documented that and put it on YouTube. I mean, this is like life-changing stuff, you guys. For a professor to be able to go and teach in another country without having to get a work permit and jump through all the hoops, it's like you just have no idea unless you're a professor yourself. So I just again, I encourage you to go check out her channel, and I can't thank you enough, Jen. And that's all I have for this coffee chat. See you in the next one.